My name is Trisha Mitchell, and I have been a Cherrywood resident for the past 8.5 years. I just feel like it's kind of a sleeper neighborhood. Like, a lot of people who have lived here a really long time, when I tell them I live in Cherrywood, they have no idea where that is. And then if I sort of tell them where it is, they're like, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's kind of a funky neighborhood, similar to some of the South Austin neighborhoods. Again, it's urban, it's central, like Hyde Park, like Brecker Woods, like a lot of those neighborhoods. I like that it's in East Austin. I like that it's got kind of an urban feel to it. I like that I see a lot of brown people, and I like that my kids are around brown people, because I think there are plenty of neighborhoods in Austin that do not get that. One of the things I really love about our neighborhood is not very often do I have to ever sit in traffic. But we're close to enough roads that we can get around when we need to. The houses over here are just cute, really cute. That's one thing about Central Austin in general, is that they're small houses, but I like that, and particularly the house we live in now. I feel like it's kind of lean and mean. It's a real urban house. It's just big enough for us. It was built in 1950. An arborist told me it's like the biggest concentration of post oaks in Austin, big tall trees. So people just like being on our street and being on the streets around our neighborhood. Patterson Park has been a part of both of my kids' lives. We go there with our dogs, and we go there in the summer to swim at the pool, and we go to play on the playground, and that's just going to be part of the fabric of their life, that they have that. So I feel like it's a really good neighborhood for biking, for being outside, for going for walks. There's a real neighborly feeling here. We had a neighborhood potluck that we'd have once a year, and we adopted a needy family for the holiday. It's just wonderful to have the neighbors come together.
I am Hoover Alexander, the owner of Hoover's Cooking. Been open 14, going on 15 years. I like to call it Texas cooking. We try to represent things that I grew up eating, loving, and remembering. Manor Road's a real special road in my history growing up here in East Austin. It was a demarcation line. It's a great feeling to look out the parking lot and see VWs parked next to Mercedes, coat and ties next to blue jeans and blue-collar workers. And the plan going forward is to advance the whole notion of community, of health and wellness. I think the restaurant is a wonderful dynamic for folk to come together and break bread, have some conversation, build on community. We are part of the whole urban farm movement here, and three of them particularly here, less than 10 minutes away in East Austin. Across the street in our satellite parking lot, we're calling it Tex-Mexique. It's a play on many different types of influences that I grew up enjoying. You can grab and go, walk up, bike up, featuring brisket. It's turkey breast, a local company, and they're right here on the east side on 12th Street, Texas Sausage Company, on our own sausage recipe. We finally were able to figure out in our small bar how to get a couple of locally brewed beers that we've got on draft now. Our frozen margaritas that I think are the best, some of the best in town. We started at a beet puree, and we're featuring a beet-a-rita. So we're having some fun still with the food, with the bar, and looking forward to what's next here at Hoover's Cooking.
Ingredients is a neighborhood grocery store. We're a convenience store in size or scale, and a grocery store in scope. This was a spot that was chosen to take on the challenge of what the USDA calls food desert. So there's a demand for what we can offer, which is good, pure, wholesome food, not kind of packaged and processed food. We aim to bring fresh produce from farms that are in the Austin area or in the Central Texas region. We're a package-free zero-waste grocery store. We're considered the first in the United States to really kind of take that on with the kind of ambition that we have. Do our best to reduce and ultimately eliminate any unnecessary waste. Customers who've come to us and said, you know, I wasn't sure how this was going to work, bringing my own containers, not having containers, but it's been really cool. I've really noticed a difference in the amount of trash I've brought out to the curb, or even recycling I've brought out to the curb. After some time, they've realized the value of it. And we just kind of stand there and smile and say, yep, that's exactly what we're trying to do. You got it. That's great. This is absolutely a good place to come to get acquainted with some of these environmental, political, and social issues. If only to understand kind of the little things we can all do to contribute to a more responsible future. Cherrywood is a neighborhood that seems to already kind of support this movement, that people in this town are trying to be creative and productive about solving these problems that as a planet and as a society we're all trying to figure out.
Yeah, I'm Steve Wilson. I am editor of The Flea. It's kind of a freewheeling publication that has neighborhood news, but also is open to anything else people want to send in. It can give you a good sense of the neighborhood and also what the neighborhood association is up to. When we moved here, my wife and I, we were looking for a neighborhood that would kind of remind us a bit of where we were living in New York and Brooklyn. My immediate neighbors are academics at UT, and the people one house up are doctors. Oh, and the woman up the street, her husband's in film, and she teaches the best swim lessons in town, you know. It's just a great little mix of professions and interests and, you know, artistic temperaments. The plant and book swap is one of my favorite events in the neighborhood. People just kind of bring in their books and plants they want to get rid of and trade them. Kind of everybody just hangs out and chats. It's over in Cherrywood Green, which is another cool thing about the neighborhood, because it was this sort of this dead space that people turned into a little mini park. Like, you don't think of this as a historical neighborhood, but there is a lot of history to it, and there are a lot of great old homes. Streets are relatively safe to bike through, and we can also go to Mueller right next door to go to other parks and pools and things. So, I mean, Austin's already a great place to raise kids, but this neighborhood specifically is really great.